Well, I was supposed to get on the plane to visit my 95-year-old mother Thursday morning, which meant that I needed to leave Wednesday night to catch a bus going down to Phoenix International Airport. Because my flight was at 5 o'clock in the morning, and planning to leave here at 1 o'clock in the morning was not a good idea. So the idea was to take the bus down to Phoenix, stay in the airport overnight, it's not that long, catch the flight, catch a few hours of sleep, go visit my mother. Well, I got up Wednesday morning and that was fine. Everything looked fine. Everything was good. Irene went to lower the lift gate on the box truck because we're taking a bunch of things down to a friend's house 50 miles away. And it started to work just fine, and all of a sudden it stopped working just fine. And the next thing I know, the lift gate is sitting on the ground. The problem with that is it doesn't go up. Probably not going up is the lift gate's on the ground, which means it acts like an anchor and I'm not going to be able to move the truck. Well, I can't leave this truck sitting where it was with lift gate down because things need to happen while I'm gone. So I started working on the lift gate to figure out the problem. I spent 3 or 4 hours digging all the wires out of the LiftGate electronics to figure it out, and a bunch of the wires had abraded over 20 years. There's dust and dirt and things like that that get in that area, and the wires had simply abraded and they started shorting out. Well, some of the wires burned, some of the wires didn't burn, but it was a mess. It was a tangled mess that you really couldn't figure out just looking at it. So I started looking at the documentation to figure out how to rewire it. Problem was the documents I had were old and they weren't right. So I spent a lot of time messing around with the wiring to hook up 3 things. That's all I needed to do was get 3 things hooked up right. Well, an old wire, soft insulation, and the colors changed. So I spent about an hour on the phone with the technicians at Maxon LiftGate, which are the people who built this liftgate for this truck. They were very helpful. And I got a new document that was published, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, and had a very clear diagram of what needed to happen. Well, the original diagram I had the wrong colors going to the wrong place. I got the right colors and rewired it. That wasn't too bad. But I'm covered in grease. I didn't make the bus. I didn't make the flight. I canceled the flight, canceled my rental car, and now I have to reschedule. In the meantime, I need to figure out how to put this last bolt that holds that unit to the frame of the truck. The first one was a real joy. Irene helped me. We got it in. Now this one is going to be less interesting. Not going to be as hard, I hope. And hope that will solve that particular piece of the job. And I'm going to put some tie wraps on the wires to release some strain and hopefully protect that insulation from damaging over the next few weeks while I figure out what we're going to do finally with this wiring. So, come along. I'm going to go get under the truck again. I've already spent 2 days there. I should feel at home, but I'm not really looking forward to it.
Oh, and we're hiding behind the truck because it's breezy.
The wind's blowing, of course. Oh, and I helped my new neighbor looking at his solar panels, and he's having some problem with not getting voltage from the solar panels into his converter. I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks like there might be a problem with the connection, but that'll come later.
This is Henry's home away from home lately. Thank Gibbons for old pieces of cardboard. We have always saved old pieces of cardboard so that if you have to lay down on this rock, you can do it without stabbing yourself to death, because this rock is no fun.
In the meantime, I've been through about 12 pairs of nitrile gloves working on this unit because it's greasy, it's dirty, it's grimy. I'm greasy, dirty, and grimy too.
Yeah, but he's more washable than some of the other things.
Next is a shower. That just lined up. That took 2 hours less than it did yesterday.
Yeah, well, yeah, at least. It's under your armpit.
I was laying on it. That's why it hurt. Could you grab some WD-40 so I can clean out some of this red?
Sure.
Some grit that's gotten under there.
I'll be back. Okay. Yes, the WD-40.
Yeah, could you grab the needle nose pliers? I'm going to use that as a...
Eventually, he'll have all the tools that he was using yesterday back out here. He did put them away last night just in case it rained.
I don't think I'll need them all.
I hope not, because you just said it lined up before.
Yep, it's lined up. I'm just adjusting it to make sure that it's going to go in correctly. And unfortunately, I have to put this bolt in going through a tube, so I can't actually feel it with my fingers. I have to rely on this socket extension to get it started.
Yeah, let's just say this was not a well thought out design.
Well, it's not according to the manual either.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it
extra fun. Yeah. I hate manuals that have nothing to do with things. I actually used to write manuals in the old days, and for electronics parts. And my manuals always had to do with whatever we were doing, and it was always very precise.
Nothing like putting a blind bolt into a hole.
If you want me to try, let me know.
It's not going. But there's also a lot of grit.
Yeah, well, yesterday, before I gave you the bolts and stuff, I was cleaning them off with my fingers.
Yeah, I started with this one clean, but it's not clean anymore.
That's because the place you were putting it was dirty. Yeah, it's a great idea having things like this motor underneath the truck because it has to be someplace. But when we bought the truck, it did not have the cover that goes on here. And I told Henry I would really like to find either the original cover or some semblance of a cover because it gets full of mud and all kinds of other crap. And that makes it worse. Because then you've got the oil from the pump, and you've got mud, and you've got everything else all mixed in there together. I'll bring you back when he gets the bolt in there. Well, there are now some hopeful sounds coming out from underneath the truck that seem to indicate that maybe the bolt is in the right place.
The bolt's in the right place, I just have to cinch it down. But it's a zillion threads, so you have to just keep on going.
To say that this was a poor design is an understatement. Like I say, I think this battery box sort of thing that they have this pump in was left over from some other piece of equipment. And they just decided they'd use it on this too because they owned a bunch of them.
I think they decided to do it because they had it laying around. I don't think it had to do anything to do with what they had laying around. It was just laying around.
Well, that's what I said.
Because it's kind of scabbed together with welding.
Yeah. professionally built. If our old friend who was a professional welder still lived in the area, to get him to make a new one and eliminate some of this crap. You said you had it in, but I see you don't.
I had to back it back out.
I'll bring you back when there are clicky noises coming out from under the truck again. There are more clicky noises coming out from underneath the truck. Let's see if it works this time.
It's done.
It took more paper towels, more WD-40.
More grease on me.
More grease everywhere. An assortment of tools. But it appears to actually be done now. Don't forget to retighten the other bolt.
They're both tight.
Thank you. I just didn't see you do the other one.
Okay, now I just need my...
Hey, just a second, I gotta check out something. Sorry about that. It sounded like the gate had opened, and I wanted to make sure it hadn't because the dog's out in the yard, and he's a good boy, but I still don't want to test him.
All right. Now, I'm ready to wrap this cable up so there's not going to be putting any stress on the wires. So, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll work for now. I'm securing the bulk of the wire to a hydraulic fitting here. Now it's going to vibrate a little bit, but
well, if it's in a vehicle, you can't help it vibrating. Especially when you run around on bumpy roads. When we were going up to Flagstaff the other day, Henry and I were conversing regarding the quality of the highway paving and the fact that there was one stretch of highway there that's going to fall apart absolutely the first time we have snow or ice, because it's already half fallen apart, and all it's going to take is a little bit of ice and snow getting in there, and throw in some salt for good measure, and yeah, it's going to be junk.
now I'm not tightening this down too hard because the insulation of this wire is really soft. I'm not sure why. It could be that it has oil on it from the pump that's definitely all over the place here. But I think it's also the nature of the original insulation.
Well, it's 20 years old too.
And normally when insulation gets old, it's brittle. So,
yeah, I would bet on the oil having softened everything.
all right. I declare that done.
Yay.
Finally,
Yeah.
3 days later.
Mm-hmm.
It only took half an hour to get that last bolt in. And now it's time to
a
go.
little less than a half an hour, but still.
Now it's time to get a shower and throw these clothes into the washing machine. They're just really disgusting. It's like I was back working on diesel engines.
Yeah, funny thing about that.
Smells the same way too.
Yeah, well, it's that gooey oil stuff from the pump. What you looking for?
I'm making sure I have all the tools out from underneath here.
Well, I grabbed the WD-40. You have the pear pliers there. Well, the only thing else under there is a couple of...
And there's a socket.
There's a socket and an extension and a handle. And I'll chase the paper towel as it runs across the driveway in a couple minutes.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications because I'm about done.
Yeah, and I've been doing all kinds of other stuff while he was doing some of this because, yeah, once he's got all his tools, one person is the only person who fits under there, so.
We'll see you later. Bye.